Howdy guys and girls, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, it's really great to have you here. So a couple of years ago I had the absolute pleasure of doing a video celebrating 35 years of the amazing Whitesnake 1987 album. It was such a cool experience to learn and relearn some of John Sykes' most iconic and recognizable riffs, and I hope in some small way I did justice to the tracks and celebrating such an iconic album. You know, I even bought this Les Paul style guitar to get that signature Sykes tone. Any excuse to buy a guitar, right? But seriously, having the right tool really put me in the mood to channel some Sykes energy. Now, as you already know by now, Sykes sadly lost his battle to cancer last week, and I have been thinking about the guitarist, the legend, the playing, and the music. I didn't want to do a video immediately because I really wanted to give some thought to how John Sykes inspired me and influenced my playing. I would be completely lying to you if I said to you that he was one of my main influences in playing. So I'm not going to tell you that. Instead, I'm going to tell you that the truth of it is, what John taught me more than pretty much any other guitar player I have ever experienced is to play with attitude. To put so much fire into every note that I play that it feels like an incendiary device has just been thrown out of my guitars. His playing was just pure fire. You know who he reminds me of? Gary Moore. That same trying to destroy the guitar approach was so prevalent in his playing. Just listen to this intro on Bad Boys. That is just pure alchemy. It's a simple riff, but combine it with that attitude and that Mesa Coliseum tone, it just knocks you out of your damn seat, man. You know, John was a huge influence on my very good friend Stefan Huther from Red Stuff Amps, and every time he used to send me a sound clip of one of his amps or pedals, I would pretty much bet $1,000 that one of the clips would be Bad Boys. Of course, there was so much more to Sykes than just Whitesnake, his own band Blue Murder, and of course Thin Lizzy. I know him mainly from the Whitesnake and Blue Murder days and the signature riffs and licks that he played on those albums. You know, I actually had a chance to perform Give Me All Your Love with a band about 13 years ago. Check this out. Man, that was such a blast to play. There's something special about performing these songs live. You really feel that energy and attitude that Sykes put into every single note. And that's where he influenced me the most in terms of my own playing. There were those two techniques that really grabbed my attention. This is the first one. You know, after doing that Whitesnake celebration video, purely by osmosis, that riff started to seep into my consciousness and my rhythm parts because it sounded so damn cool. You could say it is the epitome of coolness, from a rhythm perspective anyways. And you know, I find myself using it even when I'm playing and writing in other styles, like when I did this track with my PRS guitars just a few weeks ago. When I was writing that one, it just felt right to add that riff at that point because the rhythm was just kind of hanging there and kind of needed some special sauce. And that was the bottle of hot sauce that I immediately reached for. It's such a great move. Slide into a note, then do a double stop, and then repeat. And the repeat is what gets the juices flowing for me. The other thing that I was absolutely determined to try out in a song was the double note riff that John plays on songs like You're Gonna Break My Heart Again. So when I picked up my Gibson to do a video with it, a light bulb went off in my head. Check this out. I know, people are going to be screaming at the screen right now. You just ripped that off, dude! But hear me out on why this happens. Look, I've been a guitar teacher for 20 odd years and have taught thousands of students, literally. And here's the thing. We pick up the guitar because we want to be able to play like our heroes. Sure, scales and practice exercises are important, but at the core, we play guitar because we saw someone rocking out and thought, I want to do that. I've had people tell me that I just copy other guitarists and I should be original. Well, I am original, to be perfectly honest. You see that every week when I release a video because I write a track, an original track, which I've written. In fact, just look at this comment from the other week. And you know what? These folks are missing the fundamental point about how we learn music and really how we learn anything throughout our entire lives. Think about it. As babies, we learn to walk by watching our parents and trying to copy them, right? In school, we learn from watching our teachers demonstrate and then practicing ourselves. As adults in any profession, we grow by observing those with more experience and incorporating their techniques into our own style. It's like wanting to learn a language, like let's say Italian, and somebody hands you a dictionary saying, here you go, everything you need to know. No way. That doesn't teach you how to speak, how to phrase, how to actually communicate. Mamma mia, it doesn't, right? Whether it's a mechanic learning to fix engines by watching alongside experienced techs, or a chef learning new techniques by studying other masters, we learn by absorbing, understanding, and then making it our own. So when I learned John Sykes' riffs and licks, or any other guitar player's music for that matter, I wasn't just copying. I was absorbing the essence of how that guitar player played, what they played, and how they made the guitar sound. That made me a better guitarist and composer. It gave me skills I didn't have before. Do I always play it note for note? Well, I might have learned it that way, but when I use it in my own compositions, I present it in my own musical voice. And this is exactly what I teach my students. Learn the songs you love inside out, because that deep understanding will make you a better musician. It'll help you to understand how your heroes actually did it. They actually did it. They've done it. It's a finished product. We may as well learn from it. It's about building a vocabulary of sounds and techniques that you can use to express your own musical ideas. we've not even spoken yet about his lead guitar playing. Oh boy, oh boy. The first song that I ever heard was back in the late 80s, and it was Still of the Night. I'd heard about the song, and I even had a transcription in the Guitar World magazine. Remember those? Us old guys do anyways. Funny story, I had tried to learn the rhythm without actually hearing the song, and I had no conception about the note length, so I bumbled my way through the intro and the riff without even knowing what I was doing, and of course I made a complete and utter mess of it. Then I heard the song, that bluesy main riff and the vibe. Man, it was just electrifying. But when the solo came on, oh man, I can still feel the tingles up and down my spine even now. Over 30 years later, it just blew me away. There was this veracity and speed to it, which I hadn't heard any other guitarist play with up until that point. Yeah, I had heard Warren DeMartini and J.K. Lee and Steve Vai and lots of other bands and stuff, but Sykes is playing. That solo was just insane. Just totally mesmerizing. So when I got to cover it for the video, well, that was a super special moment, which I'd like to share with you guys now. As I wrote and sang in my song 20 Years, heroes never die, all the traces that they leave. Memories last forever, even though we grieve. And that's exactly what John Sykes did. He left us with so much more than just music. He left us with an attitude, an approach, a fire that we can all carry forward. Celebrate John Sykes, the legend, the icon. Learn his music, pass it on to the younger generations. Let his spirit of playing with absolute conviction continue to inspire guitarists everywhere. Alrighty folks, have an absolutely amazing day. This was my little tribute to John Sykes, absolute legend. I'm going to share the most Sykes influenced song that I've ever written with you now. I did this when my buddy Steve lent me his white Gibson Les Paul Studio. Thank you so much for that, Steve. You'll recognize where I borrowed the riff from. I couldn't help myself. But enjoy it. And if you dig this video, share it with your shredhead friends as well. Sub to the channel and give it a thumbs up also. And I would love for you to share some of your memories of John Sykes and his music and what it meant to you. I'd love to read that, so leave a comment below. Have an absolutely amazing day, and this one's for you, John. Rock on.